Good afternoon. It's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Joanne Magley. On today's show, we'll tell you why there's a lot of celebration going on at Daytona Beach International Airport. Then, health reporter Stephanie Strong will bring us the latest news from the Volusia County Health Department. And then finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron for an in-depth interview with his guest, Angela Daniels, the Marketing Director for the Ocean Center. Those segments, news, and more coming up right here on Volusia Magazine. A prime piece of real estate on the property of Volusia County's Daytona Beach International Airport is now home to the new Outback Steakhouse. Volusia County Chair Frank Bruno, along with other members of the County Council, Daytona Beach City Commission, and the Outback's parent company, celebrated the restaurant's opening during a recent ribbon cutting. The restaurant opened to the public on October 17th. The new building is only the second in Florida and only the third nationwide of a new format that the national restaurant chain is rolling out. The new format features an exterior tower, a warmer interior design, larger bar, higher ceilings, and a large outdoor patio dining area. This Outback closed its restaurant at its previous location on West International Speedway Boulevard in the Volusia Shops Shopping Center, where it had been for 18 years. Rick Carl, director of the Daytona Beach International Airport, said in addition to the benefits of having such a popular restaurant at this location, the property will also generate significant property tax revenue to Volusia County.
What most people don't realize is that the airport is an enterprise fund, which means we do not receive any ad valorem tax dollars. We have to operate as a business, as a standalone business, and one of the most important aspects of our business is the real estate that we have. And so this is on airport property, and we are using this to generate revenue to support the airport itself.
The Outback Steakhouse invested $4 million in the new restaurant, which will employ 89 people. Outback will pay annual ground rental starting at $175,000 per year or 2.5% of gross receipts, whichever is greater. The lease term for Outback is 30 years, after which time the property and improvements revert to county ownership. Daytona Beach International Airport is also celebrating the 20th anniversary of its international terminal. The new terminal opened October 18, 1992, with much fanfare, including a number of special events to showcase the new facility, a larger two-level terminal. The previous terminal was converted to an international arrivals facility. These new buildings, along with the extension of 2 runways, justified a name change to Daytona Beach International Airport. It was previously called Daytona Beach Regional Airport. While the airport is a division of county government, its operation is not supported by county or city tax dollars. The new terminal was built with revenue bonds that were repaid with airport revenues.
Seems like it was just only yesterday that the terminal opened to a great celebration back in 1992. And as you can see, the facility still looks great. Our maintenance people do a fantastic job keeping this facility in tip-top shape. So it's very contemporary still. It's doing its job. It was a tremendous upgrade in 1992 from the old terminal, which it actually was built in the 1960s, and we now use as an international terminal still to this day. So we're very pleased that we've passed this milestone and that the terminal is great shape, 20 years, and hopefully we'll be back here in 20 more years doing this again.
The new terminal provided larger passenger lounge areas and seating, a more sophisticated baggage claim system, expanded concessions, and covered bridges to the aircrafts. Upon opening, 4 of the original airlines signed lease agreements and committed to pay lease costs on 5 of the 6 gates and 4 of the 6 ticket counters until the year 2002. For more information about the airport, visit flydaytonafirst.com. Election Day is November 6th, but you don't have to wait until then to vote. Registered voters can beat the rush by voting early. Early voting in Volusia County will be from October 27th through November 3rd at the public libraries in Daytona Beach, Deltona, New Smyrna Beach, and Ormond Beach, and the Department of Elections, which is in the historic courthouse in DeLand. The early voting sites will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Early voting became popular in the end of 2004 in that election, and then it's just expanded. It's at for the convenience of the voter. You have one of 8 days to choose from, starting October 27th. You can go to any of the 5 sites, no matter where you live in the county.
In addition to the president and vice president, state voters will be electing a U.S. senator, state attorney, and Florida representatives and senators. In Volusia County, 6 county council seats are on the ballot, along with the sheriff and commissioners from 14 cities and towns. All registered voters can take advantage of early voting.
Well, historically in Volusia County, in a presidential election, a general election, we have about a 75% turnout. We're up to 330,000 registered voters, so you know it's going to be a lot of people turning out.
The county's election department is gearing up for the large turnout. Staff and volunteers will operate 103 polling places on Election Day. For more information about early voting, please call the Department of Elections at 386-736-5930 or visit volusia.org/elections.
Hi, I'm Joyce Cusack, Volusia County Council Member at Large. As tough economic times continue, Volusia County residents and visitors are seeing the value of public transportation. During the last fiscal year, Votran had more than 3.5 million boardings. Votran offers a variety of services, including fixed route buses, a beachside trolley, van pooling, and a gold service for people who can't ride fixed route buses due to disability or age. At $1.25 a ride, Votran drives a great bargain. For more information about Votran, visit Votran.org.
This is the time of year when you may see more black bears around Central Florida. They're looking for food. Here are the bear facts on how to peacefully coexist with these Florida native creatures in my Volusia Here and Now report.
Bears have been here for millennia. They're a native species to Florida. The peak season of human-bear conflict is right now in the fall.
More than 3,000 black bears call Florida their home. And when bears wander into human territory, it's usually the human's fault.
Most of the time, it's an issue just about an attractant that the bear wants. Instead of eating berries or nuts all day, they could get in your garbage and get their full day's worth of calories in one sitting. And so the bear's going to take the easy way out.
Mike Orlando is a bear biologist for the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, and the message that he tries to spread is to make sure there's nothing in your yard that would attract bears. Bears usually get 10,000 calories a day, but in the fall, when they're getting ready for the winter, they're trying to get around 30,000 a day.
So they're really consuming as much food as possible. And if you had to, go out in the forest and eat berries and nuts all day long, 30,000 calories is a lot for a bear. And so if they could find a garbage can or a bird feeder or dog food on the back porch or something like that, they're going to take it because they're literally just trying to pack on the weight for the wintertime.
One of the biggest bear attractants is trash, and many times all it takes is a bear-resistant trash can to keep the bears at bay. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission started a pilot program to study the use of bear-resistant trash cans in a section of the Glenwood neighborhood in Volusia County. The project was paid for by the Wildlife Foundation of Florida using funds from the Conserve Wildlife license plate.
So far, it started in February and it's continued. We're still collecting information. So far, the people love the cans. Most of them, I'll drive around looking and they'll flag me down and say, oh my gosh, I love the cans. We haven't had any bear problems since. So the cans are working. The problem that we're having is just on the other side of the street and just around where we put these, these bear-resistant cans, they're starting to see an increased bear problem.
But Orlando says that's to be expected when you have one area that is secure, which causes bears to look for another unsecure food opportunity. The hope is that eventually the bear-resistant cans will be available throughout the county. The commission also found a solution to a bear attractant problem at De Leon Springs State Park, a bear-resistant dumpster.
So after we brought out the dumpster, what did you find?
After you brought out they brought the dumpster out, no bears at all. It was immediate. We haven't seen any. They were coming back here because the pancake batter from the restaurant, and they were having a heyday back here, but not anymore.
Instead of a typical plastic lid, this bear-resistant dumpster has a very heavy metal lid which the bear can't lift, as well as a heavy sliding door with a pin lock. Orlando says it's easy to live in harmony with the bears and save their lives by simply securing the temptation of trash and other attractants. But more importantly,
enjoy bears. You know, they're a wild species that we have in the state. They're sort of a symbol of the forest. You know, usually healthy ecosystems have bears as part of that ecosystem.
To learn more about black bears and for tips on how to reduce bear attractants, visit myfwc.com/bear. Now here's Stephanie Strong with the latest news from the Volusia County Health Department.
Good morning. You've reached Florida Breast and Cervical Cancer Program.
Today, the Volusia County Health Department faces the hustle and bustle of another busy day. The phones are ringing as people contact the Florida Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program, seeking information and help.
The Florida Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program is a program for women ages 50 to 64 who do not have any kind of health insurance and have low income. This program is very important because for many of these women, they would not be able to get these tests without it.
The term breast cancer refers to a malignant tumor that has developed from cells in the breast. Cervical cancer is a slow-growing cancer that may not have symptoms but can be found with regular Pap tests. Women need to take the initiative to get their Pap smears and mammograms in order to detect early cancers.
Pap smears and mammograms are the screening tools that allow us as providers to diagnose these cancers early. And without these screenings, many women might go years with the cancer being undetected. Early detection is important for successful treatment and extending women's lives.
About 1 in 8 women in the United States can expect to develop breast cancer over the course of an entire lifetime. Each year, about 12,000 women in the United States get cervical cancer. HPV is the main cause of cervical cancer. There are steps every person can take to help the body stay as healthy as possible and lower the risk of breast cancer or a breast cancer recurrence, such as maintaining a healthy weight, not smoking, limiting alcohol, and exercise regularly. For more information about the Florida Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program, please visit www.volusiahealth.com. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Volusia County Health Department.
Now let's join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio with his guest, Angela Daniels, the Director of Marketing for the Ocean Center.
Thanks, Joanne, and hi, everyone. You know, while the national economy continues to be troublesome, and this has affected the convention business, nevertheless, bookings at the county's Ocean Center are up and prospects look good for a strong fall and winter season. Today, we'll get an update on how the Ocean Center is doing, and we have with us in the studio the Ocean Center's Marketing Director, Angela Cameron Daniels. Angela, thanks for being with us.
Good afternoon, Dave. How are you?
Good to see you. Hey, obviously, before the too much time passes on the end of the fiscal year, which ended September 30th, let's take a look at the last fiscal year. Overall, how did the Ocean Center do financially?
Well, Dave, we really ended the fiscal year on a high note. Since the expansion, we've increased our events by 60%.
Wow, that's great.
And then looking again at the attendance this morning, we've had the largest attendance since the expansion. We hosted over 307,000 attendees through the building last year. And since our economic times have not been the best in the last few years, I think it's been really positive for us to move the needle year after year. So we will continue to push for new business.
As you look at the winter schedule, fall schedule first, I guess, it seems to me from what I know about it, you have a pretty nice mix of convention type business and what you would call your consumer shows or your day events.
Well, Dave, I tell you, our calendar is pretty full between now and the end of the year, and our short-term business has really been good in the last month, so we've still got contracts out there. But starting with sporting events and competitive arts, we've got the Women's Basketball Invitational. From cheerleading events, we've got Florida Championship Cheerleading, the Sports Network Cheerleading, so East Coast Cheers next week with about 6,700 attendees.
Wow.
Some of our cheerleading competitive arts is really strong. First time event this year, there's a half marathon, which is going to start and end at the Ocean Center.
That's awesome.
It is, and they're going to have activities on the east side of the Ocean Center. As far as consumer and local events, we've got the home show, the Daytona Beach News Journal home show next weekend, and then the RB show. We've also got the Halifax Humane Society Furball coming back in December. Embry-Riddle graduation, Embry-Riddle birthday event, the Chambers event by local. So I can just go on, but I tell you what, our calendar is packed full for a little bit for everybody. So hopefully there'll be something that somebody will enjoy and a lot of diversity there.
I know you've put a lot of emphasis on showcasing the Ocean Center in the community to like meeting planners, and you have these fam trips where people come in and take a look at the community and the facility. Seems to me, from what I gather, is there's a growing interest among convention bookers, these people that actually book these events. Seems to be a growing interest in the Ocean Center. Am I right on that, or is it?
Dave, you're right. I mean, we've really increased the interest. We are competing with destinations that we've never competed for before. Right. And once we get a meeting planner to our destination that's never been there, they typically are really pleased. I mean, obviously we have a great facility.
Right.
And we're 400 feet from the Atlantic Ocean. You've got everything within walking distance, shopping, dining, attraction. So that's one of the pluses. We have easy access into Daytona Beach. We're affordable, and our airport's only 10 minutes away. So once a meeting planner gets there, they love us.
Well, I spent some time recently with 4 people from the Push advertising agency, which is the Daytona CVB's new advertising agency. They came on board, I think, October 1st, and I spent a good part of a day with them, and they had told me that about the day before, they were over at the Ocean Center for the first time, and they were legitimately impressed with the Ocean Center. Surprisingly so. They said it is an incredible facility, and I think that's pretty typical. Once you get people into the facility, they're kind of wowed by what they see.
They are, Dave, and I know we met with the Push advertising reps, and they were really impressed with the building. And a lot of times that once we get a group into our building and our destination, they tend to stay. Our retention rate is extremely high. I think I mentioned yesterday that out of the 103 events that we had last year, 58 were events that we've had more than 3 or more years. Wow. So obviously they're happy with the building, the service, and the destination. So it's important for us to keep those customers happy, but continue to tap into new business.
It seems to me that people that live out of the area and out of Florida, they've usually heard about Daytona Beach. Many times they've been to Daytona Beach, but they have a certain impression of Daytona Beach. And it's changed a lot. And so when people come into the area maybe for the first time, or they hadn't been here for a long time, their preconceived images of Daytona Beach are not really what it is today. And they're always like, whoa, this is not what I remembered or what I thought.
Well, you've got a lot. In fact, we just had some meeting planners in about a month ago. And the planner from this particular group had not been to Daytona Beach since spring break. Now, if you think about years ago, spring break, how different it was. We did not have any of the E-zone developments or the Ocean Walk Village, which it was referred to at that time. But you didn't have the Marriott, the second tower of the Adams Park when that was built, Ocean Walk Shops, the Wyndham. So they come into the area, and they are definitely impressed of all the new changes since they were back during the spring break times. And it has taken us a while to get over that spring break image.
No question.
But you know, obviously we're worldwide known because of Daytona Beach and because of the Speedway and NASCAR.
Last year there was a great festival around the Ocean Center and the beach and so forth. Christmas tree lighting, ice skating at at the band shell and that sort of thing, right on the beach. You know, whoever thought that you could ice skate, you know, in your bathing suit.
Right there,
right,
and look at the ocean.
So what's up this year? We still having the Christmas holiday festival?
We are. This is our second year, Lights Up Volusia. This is an annual event. We're going to continue to add events so that in future years we'll be able to attract visitors from the outside of the area. The Light Up event will be Saturday, November the 24th at 5 p.m. It's going to be on the east side of the Ocean Center. Again, we will have holiday entertainment, refreshments, Mr. and Ms. Claus. We're adding an arts and crafts section this year. And again, we're going to light up the 50-foot holiday tree in conjunction with the Wyndham, the Hilton, and the shops. So there's a lot to do. Ice skating will be back, but there's a new event this year, a holiday parade. So come early, get a parking spot, come enjoy the festivities, bring your family, so it's sure to be a nice weekend.
You know, you just, you look up the road, not all that far, and you look at that wonderful event that they have in St. Augustine with all of the lights in downtown and that sort of thing, but it took a long time for that event to get the kind of buzz and reputation and crowds coming back year after year. I guess that's what you're hoping will happen here. In the long run, this will be an annual event that people will come from far or wide to enjoy.
You know, we are hoping for that day because we've never in our destination had a holiday event that would attract. And we've tried a couple of things, but this is the first time that we've been able to really have some concrete events and continually add to those events every year. So we're hoping to put ourselves on the map for that.
Let's look at the convention business. As you well know, sometimes it can take years to land a convention. You know, you got that big Shriner event coming, which will be the biggest ever in the community.
Right.
But those are rare. Those are far and few between. You're working on, you know, the 1,500, 2,000 delegate conventions that take multiple hotels and that sort of thing. Convention business has been tough with the economy and so forth. What do you think about convention business a year, 2 years, 3 years from now?
Dave, I think our future looks extremely bright. Obviously, our destination is on the map now. We're competing with a lot of Orlando business. You know, these sales teams, the Ocean Center and the CVB teams, have worked closely together to build these relationships. We continue to travel with trade shows, over 20 trade shows last year. We do the familiarization tours. We bring the planners in. We are continually working to bring in new leads, and the business looks good. I mean, we've got, you know, some great leads out there, but we continue to have to work those markets that are untapped. We continue to strive ahead and then making sure the meeting planners are familiar with our destination.
You know, you mentioned taking a look at things. One of the things the county council has done is they have commissioned this holistic study of tourism marketing, and you know, kind of taking a look back kind of holistically at, you know, how well as a whole community we're marketing, how our tourism efforts are going, including what the Ocean Center is doing. I know that study has been ongoing for several months now. What can you tell us about the study in terms of where we are and what it's about and where we might be headed with that?
Well, Dave, Dan Fitton is the consultant who's representing the company that we've hired. He has been interviewing, I think, over 200 business owners, hospitality partners, and stakeholders.
Right.
He's compiled a lot of information, and he's hoping to roll out his recommendations in January to the public and to the county council. Obviously, at that time, we'll have time to get back some of our comments and suggestions, but we hope that he comes back with some productive recommendations.
And the idea there is, I think, not to find fault with anything, but to improve on what probably is already a pretty good effort.
Well, it is. It's to learn, to look at new ways to sell and market our destination and bring our destination up to a new level and different standards.
Been talking for a long time about the need for another signature hotel in the footprint of the Ocean Center area. You know, recently in the newspaper there's been some stories about some possible hotel development in the beachside and so forth. What do you know about hotel prospects, Angela?
Well, we know of two investors that are interested in the Daytona Beach area. One is going to be on the beach at the end of Oak Ridge, And I've looked at the schematics for that property, and it is very high-end, close to 500 rooms.
Wow.
And there's another property planned for the Silver Beach area. And because of the close proximity to the Ocean Center, those are definitely going to be assets to the Ocean Center as far as bringing in larger groups.
Yeah, and I know we've said for years that that was one of the biggest needs, as far at least from the Ocean Center's point of view, that you have out there, is to get more hotel accommodations in that Ocean Center area.
Well, it is for larger groups and also to strengthen our corporate market segment.
Right. Hey, a lot of companies out there in Volusia County. We have like over 400 manufacturers and other companies that aren't manufacturing. They go to conferences, trade shows, that sort of thing. And I know a couple of years ago when Don came in, Don Poor, the director, there was a program called Bring a Meeting Home created, and that the idea there is that, hey, if you're a local business or you work for the county or whatever, and you happen to go to a conference, why not bring that conference home to Volusia County? That program has had some success.
It has, Dave, because not only has it made people think locally to maybe come over to the Ocean Center for meetings, but they've recommended other associations.
Sure.
Just for instance, the end of October, we have the Florida Public Transportation Association. That's a first-time event. That was a lead from the Bring the Meeting Home campaign. And
wow.
Some other, local companies have actually tried the Ocean Center, love it, and been coming back. So it has really been successful. And I think it was good not only from a business aspect, but a good PR campaign for us.
And a lot of people don't realize how big a quality the food service is at the Ocean Center. I mean, you have an excellent catering company that really provides great food, and so another piece of business that you're going after is these day meetings and those sorts of things.
Dave, I was really looking at that compared to other years, and not only do we have a really strong catering sales manager, but the food quality and the food service, now we typically bring the meeting planners in to actually host them for dinner so they can see the service. And I tell you, it has made a difference in some of the contracts that we've signed. And locally, I mean, we've really increased our local events. We've got the chamber events that continually come back. They're coming back in December. Embry-Riddle, Bright House. I mean, I can name just many local events that are pleased with us, satisfied with our building and our service, and we're very fortunate to have that food quality and food presentation, because sometimes a lot of convention centers do not have that amenity, and we do.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say, well, they thought they had to have a huge event to have it at the Ocean Center, but I think you have something like 32 individual meeting rooms, and so you can host gatherings of all types and sizes, including wedding receptions.
We can. We've just started really promoting some weddings. We did actually get picked to do a wedding show next year, so we're starting to tap into that market. And we just did a local blitz where we went and visited about 50 local companies just to let them know what our calendar was, holiday packages. So we're continuing our efforts in that area.
Well, Angela, I want to thank you very much for sharing the information with us today. It sounds like the Ocean Center is doing a pretty good job out there, all things considered. Sounds like things are pretty positive for the future. So thanks for giving us an update today.
Well, thanks for letting me be here to share our information, Dave.
Our guest today is Angela Cameron Daniels. She's the marketing director at the county's Ocean Center. And with that, Joanne, it's back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can go to our website, volusia.org. There, you can watch the show online. Just click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And don't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see here listed on your screen. And last, we'd like to invite you to the next Volusia County Council meeting, which is scheduled for Thursday, November 1st at 9 a.m. in the County Council Chambers in DeLand. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Joanne Magley. Have a great night.